Here in this video we will discuss a bit on two types of blood-sucking creatures of the night that are found in 40k, the vampires. Well, one of them is spelled with an I, while the other with a Y. Why? I don't know. While there are vampire squiqs, which portray certain characteristics of the Nosferati, they are still in the end an orkoid species. The astartes, on the other hand, of the Blood Angels and their successor chapters are also many at times termed as vampires due to their gene seed curse or defect called the red thirst. But that's also just that. They are still just warm-blooded astartes that can't control themselves at times. No, here we will discuss the real Strigoi of the grimdark galaxy, the blood-sucking revenants of the void of night. Let's get to them. So the first one, the vampires with an I, the polymorphic predators of the warp. So vampires are greatly mistaken in 40k by the people there. They are just like in reality thought to be undead creatures of the night, but boy are they mistaken. With their origins in the Immaterium, vampires are true nightmares cloaked in even deeper mystery than the real-life mythological versions. They don't belong to any specific world. They have evolved into parasitic entities that infiltrate and feed on the living across the galaxy. These creatures have seeped into human legends. Once dismissed as mere campfire tales on old Earth, their existence is all too real though. Vampires are not hunters. They are manipulators, masquerading as their prey to climb up social ladders and worm their way into positions of influence, with entire civilizations having unknowingly fallen victim to their subtle, insidious domination. So a vampire's parasitic existence is tied to its unique physiology. Its ability to shapeshift is more than just a disguise. It is an evolutionary weapon, letting it to adapt to and infiltrate any society. Vampires feed on the life force of their victims, as well as blood, through prolonged contact, leaving them as lifeless shells, little more than the animated husk under the vampire's psychic thrall. While they can survive on mundane food or drinks, their true sustenance comes from their life force of the victims. Their psychic prowess rivals even the most skilled human psychers, giving them another tool to ensnare their prey. Despite their incredible powers, vampires are driven by a consuming hunger for control and regard even their own kind as rivals, ensuring that their threat extends far beyond any single victim. Their true form is kind of like a bat creature, a humanoid bat, the likes you see on movies like The Last Voyage of the Demeter, yeah, that one. The horror of the vampires is not just in their psychic strength, but their ability to mimic other intelligent species. A vampire's true form is grotesquely inhuman, a humanoid bat-like monstrosity with leathery wings and clawed hands, yet they rarely appear as such. They hide, they're shapeshifters. These cunning predators can shift their form at will, altering their metabolism to blend seamlessly with their surroundings. Whether among humans, Eldar or even orcs, a vampire can pass unnoticed, feeding on life forces while hiding in plain sight. One such example of a vampire with an eye is Darren Marvel from the short story The Eisenbrecht Horror by Darius Hinks. Darren Marvel, a vampire cloaked in the guise of a fortress commander, had risen to power as sovereign by cunning and bloodshed. So a failed assassination attempt by the Imperial agents only strengthened his grip on the feudal world, while he twisted the Emperor's creed to serve his own vanity. Statues of his false glory replaced sacred relics, and the faithful unknowingly knelt before a monster. Yet whispers of heresy reached the ears of 7 devout citizens who formed the Terran Brotherhood, vowing to end Marvel's reign. Unaware of his true nature, they conspired in secrecy, but their plans unraveled under his psychic gaze. With his monstrous intellect, Marvel enslaved Sabinus, one of them, the most devout among them, turning him into an unwilling puppet. Under the vampire's psychic thrall, Sabinus led his comrades one by one into the desolate Eisenbrecht Basilica, a ruin shrouded in ghostly superstitions. In the crypt's choking darkness, Marvel shed his human guise, revealing his bat-like form. Each member of the Brotherhood met their end in the vampire's savage embrace, with their lifeblood stolen as Sabinus watched in helpless horror as he was a thrall, a slave to Marvel. So Marvel's psychic whispers erased each gruesome memory from his puppet's mind in the end, resetting that cycle of betrayal and murder, making you think that the Terran Brotherhood was just food on the menu and there are more servings to come. So the next ones are the vampires with a Y in their spelling, the bloodsuckers of Necromunda. These vampires, in contrast, are a more physical kind of terror, while still being regarded as words or unsanctioned psychers by the Inquisition. They are native to the dark depths of the hive cities of the planet of Necromunda. They are nocturnal, blood-drinking humanoids who thrive in the shadows of the Underhive. To most people, 99.9% of people there, vampires are nothing more than nursery rhymes, boogeymen, invented to keep children from straying into the dangerous places of the Underhive. But the Inquisition knows better. These creatures are all too real, and their potential for spreading vampirism has made them a ticking time bomb. If not contained, their infection could spread through Necromunda's shipping lines to worlds across the Imperium. And so the Inquisition had to act in order to keep this vampiric epidemic quarantined to a single place. So a vampire's body is built for survival. Their regeneration allows them to recover from almost any injury, and they are thought to be immortal, with their predatory instincts honed to perfection. They are also cloaked in a kind of psychic stealth, with bionic eyes and even the most advanced sensors being unable to detect them, though simpler targeting tools like red dot sights still work. A vampire's bite drains not just blood but also willpower. Victims often become their slaves, their thralls, subservient to the vampire's will and used as both food, supply, and a workforce. Vampire cults are built on this structure, with thralls filling out their ranks and protecting their masters. Over time, some thralls may ascend to become vampires themselves, though strict rules within the cult maintain a balance between the two groups to prevent chaos. So these vampires are horrifyingly resilient. Injuries that would kill most beings, most humans, are mere inconveniences to them, and even death itself is only a temporary setback. They can regenerate from wounds with terrifying speed and are effectively immortal. This resilience combined with their unnatural strength and speed makes them perfect predators. Vampires feed on the blood of their victims, as well as the fear that accompanies it, and with their meals being carefully chosen. An example of a vampire with a Y is none other than Red Jacob, the father of vampires of Necromunda. His is a name that drips with whispered dread across the Underhive shadows. More legend than flesh, he is said to be the origin of every blood-soaked cult, and the nightmare that no hunter truly escapes. His existence is marked by terror, with countless zealots having claimed his death, staggering back drenched in blood and triumph, yet with no corpse to display. So he still lives on. His thralls are mindless puppets driven by sinister word powers, and his followers, be they words which are unsanctioned psychers, or desperate mortals or corrupted souls, are bound to his will. Vampiric immortality cloaks him in somewhat of a cruel, narcissistic existence, using the thrill of the hunt to toy with his pursuers before he inevitably becomes their executioner. Those who dare confront him often vanish, with their lifeblood consumed, their whispers joining the cacophony of fear that follows in his wake. So, in comparison, both the vampires with an I and the vampires with a Y are predators, but their methods and origins couldn't be more different. Okay, this is gonna get messy. Let's see. Vampires with an I, let's just call them a Nosferati, while the other ones, let's call them Strigoi. Yeah. So, Nosferati are creatures of the warp, thriving on deception and psychic domination. They infiltrate societies, draining life from the shadows while posing as one of their prey. In contrast, the Strigoi are physical hunters, striking from the darkness of Necromunda to drink the blood of their victims. While the Nosferati manipulate, the Strigoi they dominate, building cults of thralls to serve their every whim. Biologically, the two are equally terrifying. The Nosferati can mimic entire species, with their psychic powers making them nearly impossible to detect, and they have the appearance of bat-like creatures, while the Strigoi rely on raw resilience and stealth to evade capture, and they are humanoid, almost human in appearance. Both are capable of enslaving their victims, but in the end, both embody the horrors, the cosmic horrors, of parasitic survival in the grimdark galaxy, being a reminder of the many ways the galaxy preys on itself. Now, I hate to say this, but that's about it for now. About the two types of vampires in 40k, and this is the end of the video. So if you like this one, then watch this other one too. leave a like for support and subscribe if you haven't for more content. Till the next time, take care, boys.